Hello, and thank you for sending me the link to your Vincent Price list video. I don't know how I overlooked it. I went through your back videos. I'm still trying to catch up, but I was specifically looking to see if you had done a list of your favorites. So thank you for sending that to me. I started typing a reply, and I realized I just would make a video because uh, amazing. Vincent Price's career is so amazing that. Um, there are so many films that he made that your list and my list can be different, and yet all the films on our combined list and many more are all wonderful and all worth watching. Um, I watched your video. I looked at IMDb, went to my shelf, pulled down what I could see, but I couldn't find a lot of them. I should have been smart and done it like you and just not tried to find the videos. I went through my books. I have several books on Vincent Price. He is a personal favorite of mine, but I have books on a lot of, especially horror actors that I'm fond of. And I have a lot of these collected volumes where they do mini biographies. And so I came up with my list. It could change. There's so many films, so many wonderful films. I did try and put them in some kind of order, but I just made myself miserable doing it. So I want to start. You had done non-horror films. I want to start with two. I guess it would be non-horror films, but films that I really enjoy, or performances and films that I really enjoy that Vincent Price was in, and gives just stunning performances, just pitch perfect supporting performances. The first is the original Tower of London, where he holds his own with Basil Rathbone and Boris Karloff, and he plays a conniving, drunken, whiny Duke of Clarence to perfection. He's this annoying sibling, and yet you sort of, as always with Vincent Price, drawn to him, and he has a spectacular exit from the film that is worth the price of admission. So if none of you have seen the Tower of London, I would recommend the original Tower of London, 1939. I would recommend that one because his part in there is just perfect, and he plays it wonderfully. The other one is 1944 noir classic mystery, Laura, where he plays a gigolo, and he's this smooth, conniving, ladies' man, but he's engaged to the named character Laura, but he's also romancing an elderly society matron, and that's a rather creepy relationship, and it's an excellent film. And while it's not a huge part of the movie, he makes a great suspect. He makes an interesting character, and it's just uncomfortable watching him with this woman. So if you haven't seen either of those films, I would recommend finding them. As I said, I did go to my shelves. I should have just followed your lead because I couldn't find all my movies, all my Vincent Price movies, but I found some of them, so I'm going to count down from 10. Number 10 on my list is one of his first starring roles. It's more of a suspense crime, but it has shock value. The movie is Shock, and he plays a psychiatrist who has committed a crime and is basically trying to gaslight the witness of that crime. And he's smooth and sinister, and it is a really good performance in the early part of his career, and I've always enjoyed that one. The next one, there it is, that I probably like the Charlton Heston adaptation better, but Last Man on Earth, if you're not familiar with it, is Same as the Omega Man. I Am Legend is the original novel and the Will Smith film. He is just such a forlorn character in this. Just his horrific life is sort of a drudgery as he goes through it. It's kind of almost documentary style as he just sort of narrates what's going on. And I've watched it numerous times and have always enjoyed it. The next one I know I have, and I could not find it, and it's probably in one of my sets. I'm sure I have a standalone version of it also, but I couldn't find it. House on Haunted Hill is a wonderful film. You can just tell he's having a blast playing this part of the millionaire throwing the party in the haunted house with his own schemes. He's got a shrew wife, and you've got all these befuddled, innocent bystanders that are caught in the crossfire between her machinations and his. And I never get tired of watching this one, just because it's got a fun cast, a lot going on. Definitely worth checking out. Number 7 on my list would be Mask of the Red Death. Poe adaptation, part of the Roger Corman Poe series. Very stylish film. One of Vincent's better parts. It's beautiful to watch. It's well acted, excellent script. I like Roger Corman during this period as a director, so great film to check out. The next one I know I have, but I could not find it, and it's The Witchfinder General. It's also known as the Conqueror Worm, I believe, and this is one of Vincent Price's most chilling performances. He's restrained. You can tell that the director and he collaborated, that the director was able to get him to pull back a bit from some of his... I love Vincent Price, but he has a tendency to go over the top at times, which is part of the joy of watching him. But in this one, it's a rather restrained performance, and that makes it all the more sinister and makes him all the more frightening. And I really enjoyed the film, and especially his performance. I just don't think people realize they see the more fun, goofy horror films, and they don't give Vincent Price credit for what he was able to do. And I'm not sure that directors always got the best out of him. Next, at number 5, is another in the Poe series, the Tomb of Ligeia. And this is a strange, quirky film. The art direction, the character is, angst-ridden and weak and confused, and you wonder why, but you're drawn to him. And it is a film I've watched quite a few times. It pops up in my rotation in October. I'm not sure that it's the greatest screenplay, but it keeps drawing you in, and that's the important thing, and I have always enjoyed it. So number 4, that was number 5. Number 4 on my list is also in the Poe series, but it's based on an H.P. Lovecraft, and I'm no expert on H.P. Lovecraft, but out of the films I've seen, this unofficial adaptation, The Haunted Palace, Vincent Price plays 2 dual roles. You've got Lon Chaney Jr., Elijah Cook Jr., and a cast of people you recognize. On a low budget, Corman creates this atmospheric, cursed little village that's just dark and full of despair, and you know that things are going to go wrong almost from the beginning. And it's just one that I watch every October, and I truly enjoy. Number 3 on my list is The Abominable Dr. Phibes. I could not find that one. I thought I had it, or had it as a double set with the sequel, but I couldn't locate it. Out of all of his sort of, in that period, quirky revenge, Theater of Blood and those, it's my favorite. It's just, it couldn't be made today because it's so much of its time. I mean, it's just such a almost operatic sometimes, and it's a cross between, I don't know, it's got a goth feel, but then it's got the mod feel, and I mean, I don't know how anybody could have seen that poster back in the day and not wanted to see this film. Definitely I can see why you picked it as your number 1. Like I said, all these films could fluctuate, and I could throw in a bunch more and be happy. So that would be number 2. And this killed me that I could not find it on the shelf, because as I started doing the list, I got in the mood to watch the film, and I couldn't find the disc. And now I can't even find the page. I thought I had these all marked. But the film is The Raven. And if anyone's not seen it, I find it a very funny film. It's meant to be funny. It's not about being camp or silly or, over the top. It's truly a funny film. You have Boris Karloff, I think Hazel Court, but then you have Peter Lorre. And Peter Lorre and Vincent Price together are just priceless. You could tell that they're just reveling. I've read that Peter Lorre really liked to ad-lib and throw in lines which not everybody appreciates, but Vincent Price could go with the flow, and he really went with it, and you can tell they're having a blast. And it is also interesting to see Jack Nicholson playing Peter Lorre's son. It's very early in his career, and if you've not watched it, or if you saw it in the past, here we go. If you've seen it in the past and you remember not liking it, because it is not in the tone of some of the other Poe films. It is a comedy. It's supposed to be funny, and I think it succeeds wonderfully, especially when Peter Lorre and Vincent Price are together. It's just wonderful to see those two just having fun. And it pains me that I couldn't find it. Finally, my number 1 choice wasn't even in doubt. When I was young, back in the olden days, you had 3 networks and maybe an independent television station if you were lucky, and they actually showed movies during the day, matinee films on some stations. And here in the Twin Cities, we had a show, Mel's Matinee. Mel Jazz would host the show, and they would show films and sell crap. But it seemed like every other month, maybe every month, this film was in the rotation, House of Wax with Vincent Price, the one that I think really made his rep as one of the great horror stars. And inevitably, it was amazing. I became so deathly ill, it would scare my parents how badly. They would be talking about taking me to the hospital, and I said, no, I just need to rest. I don't think I can go to school today. And then I think it was 1 o'clock, crawl painfully to the couch, and I would watch this film. I've not opened it because I've seen the film so many times I fear watching it now. I have seen it since I'm an adult, but I just so love this film. I mean, it has a wonderful. The original's good, really good. I'm a Lionel Atwill fan, and Fay Wray's in the original, but this one, the casting, the story, you see there, maybe in the middle, is a very young Charles Bronson. He's using his real name still, and I won't even try and pronounce his last name. He plays the deaf-mute assistant to Vincent Price. This has always been, and probably will always remain, my favorite Vincent Price film. I can watch it anytime. I could take it out of the plastic today and watch it every day for the next month and be content, because I just love this film. Anyway, this went way too long. Sorry about that. But I think that's the beauty of Vincent Price's career. I mean, I didn't even touch on many other ones that I have, and even more that I don't have. And there was, I don't know how many on your list that didn't make my list. So if you're watching this video, please watch the films I've suggested. I will link to the video I'm responding to. Watch those for sure as well. And you couldn't go wrong if you see the name Vincent Price, just taking a chance and watching the film, because if nothing else is good in that movie, I'm betting Vincent Price will be. It's Sunday here. I hope you've had or are having a great weekend, that the week ahead is even more awesome. Stay safe, be well, and as always, God bless.